Jesus Christ, you people suck. Wow. Marine on it.
Back in the days when we played video games, it was hardcore for the nerdy and lazy. Now things have changed and all our video games are also for the casual and lady.
But that's okay, you know the score. We told you a million times before. Playing consoles, not just games, is in the past. And every week you listen to the best damn internet radio crew. It's the N4G podcast. It's the N4G podcast.
All right, it's time. Another week, N4G Radio. This is episode 635 for January 18th, 2021. And on the show this week, we have Anthony,
Hello.
and we have Orion.
Indeed.
Indeedly doodly neighbor. It's kind of a big week. We have two events happening over here in the States. We have a holiday. I don't know if you're off on Monday, Ryan, but I am.
I am not.
Oh,
I am not. No, I have yet to actually work at a place where I had this holiday off. My last job, this was one of the busiest days of the year. And my current job, it's a bank holiday, and we work in partnership with the bank, but it's not a holiday for us.
yeah, it's me and my son both have the day off. So that's
What's
nice.
what's the holiday?
Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King Jr.
Ah, that would explain why we don't have it.
Well, I lied because Drew is here.
Surprise!
It helps if you answer my text before we start recording. You know?
It's not a surprise if he answers your text.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want it to be a surprise.
Well, I wanted to be
Well,
a
he
surprise.
did.
I see
Surprise.
that. Son of a... you son of a bitch. Anyway. And then we have Inauguration Day, which was funny because I work... At the place where I work, we scheduled like a virtual meeting for Wednesday, and we were trying to figure out why we weren't getting a lot of registrations, and then we realized what the day was.
Yep, that'll do it.
And I was like, oh yeah, no, there's probably not going to be anybody doing anything but that. So...
I will be working.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
don't,
I'll be
don't
at
get
work.
days off.
But I was at work when the shit went down last week.
Yeah, me too.
And my productivity just went, you know.
It felt weird not talking about that on the last show, but at the same time, like
I don't
I
want to
didn't
talk.
really want to
yeah.
talk about it.
It's not even. It's not what the show's about. But yeah, like my
no,
productivity.
but I mean, we've talked about other things, and it was just like, yeah, well, you know, that's
honestly,
hopefully
in
once in a
as long
lifetime thing.
as long as this show's gone on, we've never really talked about that stuff, which makes it even more evident of how impactful this stuff is right now.
Yeah, I know. This is the
Yeah.
first time we've ever really felt the need.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I'll be happy when I can go back to kind of ignoring this stuff, you know, on a day-to-day basis. Like, truthfully, that's the dream right there.
Yeah, it's a blessing that some of us have the ability to ignore some of this stuff. For some folks, it never goes away.
That's true. That's true. But I'm not talking about ignoring. I'm just talking about waking up every morning and figuring out what the fuck happened today. You know what I mean?
What the horse in the hospital did today.
Exactly. It's like, what the fuck is going to happen today? Like, I think one of the greatest comments I read on Twitter was like, Joe Biden's Twitter is boring and I love it. Like, I'm right there with you, brother. I'm right there with you.
Fingers crossed for at least 2 years of policy that helps people.
Yes. I'm 100, like, even though most of it doesn't affect me, I hope it helps a ton of fucking people.
Fingers crossed.
But anyway, this is a show about video games, so let's talk about video games. Drew, did you play any video games?
I did, actually.
Oh.
How accusatory.
Yeah. Did you play any video games?
I mean, most of the time, Drew don't play video games.
That is very
No.
true.
So, with the help of my wife,
My
wife has
Please refer
motivated
to
me to play a game.
Oh, what are you playing?
So I was like, I'm playing Zelda, obviously. And when I get to where I want to be in that game, I'm like, all right, well, I've still got about an hour to kill before my wife finishes work. So I'm like, what can I play? So I just brought up my Xbox library. And I was like, I don't know what to play. And she's like, oh, what games haven't you finished? I was like, every single thing on this list. And she said, a couple of years ago, when she was sending out thank you cards for a wedding shower, and I got Far Cry 5 for review. And she watched me play a little bit of it, kind of got into it, me sneaking around, shoot that guy in the head. And I shot him in the head and, stuff like that. She said, did you ever finish Far Cry 5? I'm like, no. She's like, why don't you finish that? I was like, I don't even know where I was in that game. I don't know. Like,
we got excuses for why we don't play our backlog, but all we do is complain about our backlog.
Yeah, I came up with a bunch of excuses. She's like, well, just jump into it and see if you like it. And I was like, all right. So I jumped back into Far Cry 5. I'm now addicted to Far Cry 5.
It was a good video game.
It's a great video game. Like, the mechanics in that game are simple, but they let you use whatever you want. So you can go into this mission sneaking around, and sneaking is very viable in this game compared to other games. Or you can just go in guns blazing.
Yeah.
And I was having a hard time doing the sneaking stuff. And then I started utilizing like my partners. Like I can call in Nick Rye, who just does an airstrike on the dudes. And I'm just like, I'm going guns blazing the rest of this fucking game. And I did.
It's a lot of fun.
It is a great time. I finished up whatever her name is, Faith, her region. And I'm moving on to the last region of Hope County. And I'm gonna try and beat that game this week, hopefully.
I finished that game and I enjoyed it. I got the bad ending, I think.
Is the bad ending the ending that leads into Far Cry New Dawn? Because
I don't want to. I mean, it's old.
It's 2016 or
Isn't there one
2017.
where he lives and one where he dies?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I got the one where he lives.
That is canon.
Okay. It felt like the bad ending because it was all dark and shit.
All of them are bad endings.
I guess that's the case. I mean, post-apocalyptic world, cult leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's technically, according to Ubisoft, that is the real ending to the game where they launch a bunch of nukes and, the post-apocalypse happens.
Yep, that's the one I got.
Yep.
Because the end of it is me and him in the bunker.
Yep. And then your character shows up later on in New Dawn.
I don't even remember what my character looks like in Far Cry 5. I wouldn't know what my character looked like in New Dawn if it didn't have a photo mode.
It's your character, the deputy, is referred to as a companion character that you can get in New Dawn.
Yeah, well, there you go.
It's a silent person.
Yeah,
they don't speak.
Silent, genderless.
There's a lot of
Just to
quiet
cover the
motherfuckers
bases.
in video games.
Yeah. But you do run back into the deputy in New Dawn. But yeah,
I never finished New Dawn because I got tired of the base, like, grinding for currency mechanic.
Yeah, they did add that in there. I really liked New Dawn. I thought it was really good. I loved like the aesthetic of it.
Yeah.
And for like a $29.99 kind of release, that was perfect.
Yeah, I just wish the mechanic for grinding for you, like, when you halt progression based on a grinding mechanic, I really lose interest quick.
Yeah. The one thing I have to say about Far Cry 5, the soundtrack to that game is superb.
I love the way Montana looks. It was probably my favorite environment.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. But yeah, I'm enjoying my time with that. And man, I've put probably another 6 or 7 hours into that game this past week. I enjoyed it. I also, obviously, am playing Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I walked into the water temple and saved my game and said, I will deal with this tomorrow.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
At least he's playing the 3DS version. It's way easier with that.
You know, it's funny, Drew. I swear to God, I don't know if you do this on purpose, but Phoenix Down, always ahead of the game. Is this fucking Zelda's 35th anniversary year?
It's like we're psychic.
I'm like, we're probably going to see like a Zelda collection this year, and like, you know, it's crazy to think about.
We are accidental psychics, is what it is.
Absolutely, it's like this is the year of Zelda. Well, Drew's gonna start Phoenix Down with Ocarina of Time. I mean, come on.
The weirdest one is still Call of Juarez.
The cartel.
The cartel has been delisted, and then we are doing Phoenix Down, and then right after it's been relisted. What?
Yeah. You can now buy the cartel again, and I'm like, oh, well.
Okay, all right.
Just so happens we're talking about this.
Yeah.
Maybe Ubisoft came in and was like, you know, fans really are asking for the cartel. So they just made a podcast about it.
No, it's actually all owned by Techland now, I believe.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they self-publish it now.
Gotcha. Okay. But yeah, we are, let's just say idiot savants. Emphasis on the idiot part. So, but yeah, we're playing Zelda. Man, that's a great game.
Yes, it is.
I have to say, because I said it on the podcast last week, but all right. First, let's settle this question.
Oh boy.
What is the name of Link's horse?
Epona?
Epona.
Epona?
Epona?
Okay.
I don't
Ryan
know.
and I are
I
on the same page.
I don't care.
I always thought it was Epona.
I always called it
have no
Epona, but
idea.
I've heard people call it Epona, and I'm like, that sounds stupid.
Yeah. So yeah, that was what I brought up on the show, was that when I was in middle school, I had a hardcore argument with a friend of mine when I called it Epona, and he's like, no, it's Epona. And I was like, where the hell did you get that idea? It's Epona. It's a pony. Epona. What are you talking about? And for the life of me, I still can't. I don't know how you pronounce that.
I call
that
it
horse's name.
Epinephrine. That's what his name is.
So it's
Epinephrine.
apparently that's a Celtic horse god's name.
Epona or Epona? It's the
Give me-
same
give me-
word,
give me-
Anthony.
Give me 6 seconds.
It's the same word. There's no difference. It's just a different pronunciation. It's like people who call him Mario or Mario, you know?
That's Ghostbusters 2. I always think of that because Lewis says, do you want to play Super Mario Brothers? And I'm like, oh, God, why did you say that, Lewis?
It's a lot of like the New York, New Jersey accent. They call it Mario. Hey, Mario.
It's Epona.
Epona?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Or according to this woman who is not talking about Zelda and is talking about the history of where the name came from, that is how you pronounce it.
okay, well, there you go. I was right, Charlie McDonald from middle school.
I'm sure he's listening now and being like, God damn it.
Yeah,
Shit, Charlie McDonald.
that's right. Nah,
I knew how
Charlie's
to
good.
pronounce the Zelda horse's name.
Charlie's good people.
How's your life now,
He's married. He's married and got a kid now. So. But I rage quit that game last week. I had to get Epona, and you have to win a race. Well, you don't just win a race; you have to win 2 races. And this guy kept beating me every single time. And the problem is like the first race, he's like, all right, bet me 50 rupees. Okay, cool. I'll do that. I win the first race. He's like, okay, do it again. And if you beat me again, you'll get to keep the horse. I'm like, okay, fine. Well, I can't beat him the second time around. But he doesn't give me my 50 rupees back. So I run out of rupees, have to go and get rupees again, and then do it all over again. I lost like the 4th time.
I've never had this issue.
Oh my God, I got so mad. I took my 3DS and forcefully shoved it into my lap. And I was like, I'm done.
That's funny. That's very funny. I would love to have seen that, like, been a fly on the wall as Drew gets mad and shoves his 3DS into his lap.
Forcefully into his lap.
Forcefully into my lap because I don't want to break it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Forcefully into my lap sounds like it would be like an 80s romance novel that you would find on the shelf at a drugstore or something.
With like Fabio on the cover.
Yeah, exactly.
CVS special, baby.
But yeah, so
Jane Heart-wrencher.
So I don't
Bites.
remember. Jesus Christ.
Forcibly into my lap.
Forcibly into my lap.
Undulating with desire. But but yeah, so I was like, I just won't get the horse. Who cares? Then you have in order to go to the water temple as an adult, you have to jump a fence that only Epona can do.
Yeah, because, I mean, it'd be stupid if Link could climb a fence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm
come
just
on.
like, great.
Why can't Metroid crawl?
Why
I
can't
think-
Metroid crawl?
One of the jokes we used to make when we were playing Rainbow Six was like, elite tactical soldier can't get over a barrier.
Yeah, yeah.
God.
Oh, shit.
Oh man, that brings back memories. Rainbow Six Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas and
Rem-
Vegas 2, I played so much of those
I
games.
did too. You remember that you could take a picture of yourself using the Xbox Live Vision
Oh
camera.
my god, yes, and put your
And you
face on
could
the
put
soldier.
your face on your character. So I made a really dumb face, but I also, because of the lighting in my room, it was half of my face was flat while the other half was shiny.
Well, I mean, we were taking it with that fucking Vision camera, dude.
I know, it's horrible.
Oh, that thing was like just a step above the Game Boy camera.
My Vision camera is still sitting in a box somewhere in this house.
I don't know why you didn't just throw that away.
I don't know either.
I remember
yeah.
I remember the first dick I saw on Xbox Live because of the Vision camera. That's always a good.
Uno.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One
playing
dude
Uno.
had his dick as his gamer picture.
Oh.
Remember when they let us take pictures with the Vision camera and put it as your gamer tag picture?
Dude, I still, so I just recently gave away my 360 and I was going to erase everything on my 360. My profile was still on there and it was a picture of me from like 2007 and it was from the Vision camera.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I haven't seen that picture in a dog's age. But yeah, playing Zelda. And then me and a few friends sat down and really dug into Phasmophobia.
Oh boy.
Phasmophobia is one of the most awkward games I've ever played in my life. It's also one of the most terrifying games I've ever played. That game is both equal parts great with its horror aspect, but also equal parts, this is really sluggish, and I don't know if I like how it controls.
There's a lot of games like that are very popular where they just kind of play like, not necessarily play like shit, but like feel really not polished.
So the reason why this game feels weird is because it's majorly a VR game that you can play with a mouse and keyboard or a controller. And it works well in the sense of doing stuff with VR because you're using the VR controllers to pick up stuff and hold stuff and use it. And it doesn't translate well to a controller. But man, did we have a blast playing that co-op. It was me and one of my old roommates and his brother and his wife, and we were playing that and legit was getting scared out of our minds.
So all that matters is that you had a good time.
So there's certain ghosts that do different things, and that's the whole point of the game, is trying to figure out what kind of ghost you're dealing with, whether it's a banshee or a revenant or a demon or something like that, and they all have different attributes. And when you get the one ghost that when it starts to haunt, you can hear, because you have to use a headset because the ghost can hear you, and you have to call out its name to basically make it show up. So it uses voice recognition. So you have to wear a headset. And when it's starting to haunt and you hear the Grudge, in your freaking left ear. It's very, very creepy. That game's actually really good, and it's $15. Don't play it alone, though. Am I alone in this conversation here? Because I feel like there's nobody talking.
You're not alone.
Okay.
No.
There's nobody else plays Phasmophobia, so
I am not a horror movie guy or a horror game guy, so it's like
And I
all
assume
that
it-
is in one ear and out the other to me.
And I assume it just sucks alone.
Well,
It looks like a co-op game.
it definitely is a co-op game. You can play it alone. It's just going to take a lot longer to A, find where the ghost is haunting, B, get the ghost to do what you want it to do. So you have to gather evidence. There's 3 pieces of evidence to determine what kind of ghost it is. It could be like a EMF readers level 5. It could be freezing temperatures. It could be the spirit box, which is absolutely creepy. Spirit box is basically a radio.
Yep, and it flips through.
It flips through all the AM and FM,
channels.
and
Yeah.
you ask it questions. I don't know, John Smith, are you here? And then sometimes Yes.
Yeah.
and then sometimes like, where are you? Behind. Oh God! And he's right there. It's really good. That game is genuinely creepy, and controls weird. that's the best way I can put it. But I think that's pretty much it.
all right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll move on to Anthony.
Yeah, sure. Been playing a lot of Super Mario Odyssey because I borrowed it from a friend before I went back into lockdown.
That game is good.
Yeah, when I originally played it, like that was the first time I had a Switch in my hands, and I was like, I don't know if I really care for this, but I think like I know it's meant to be like a tutorial level, but man, that first the Cascade Kingdom with the dinosaur and the chain chomps is not a good example of what that game is. Because like the stuff you do in that, you don't really do in any of the other levels. And I know technically the Top Hat Kingdom or whatever it's called is the tutorial when you first get Cappy and all that, but like not really. That you're like, oh, I'm actually going into a level, but not really. It's still the tutorial. It's Cascade Kingdom is very boring. Once I got out of that, I was far more impressed. I actually didn't really care for New Donk City. Like once it opened up, I was like, this is not as interesting as I think people made it out to be. It's got one of the best story pieces, like big set pieces in it.
And the music's good too, which is one reason why a lot of people like that level.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was talking. Well, I mean the festival sequence is spectacular. Even though
I just meant like
the main level music. Yeah. I have to say I've liked a lot of the music in this game. This is gonna sound like blasphemy, but it reminds me of the non-butt rock version but non-butt rock tracks from like the Sonic Adventure games, which are usually very well written, unfortunately in games that are a little janky. But it just doesn't.
God, you said butt rock Sonic Adventure, and all I heard was, "I'm gonna open your heart."
Yeah, exactly.
I fucking love that song. FYI,
I
Smash Brothers.
do. I like all of it.
All the time.
Listen,
Crushed 40.
You're talking to somebody on this podcast who unironically loves "Indestructible" from the Street Fighter 4 soundtrack. So
That is, oh my God, I love that song.
But I like what I'm saying though is like it's the more I don't know, like the other kingdom that I can't remember called, but it was like the forest level, but has a bunch of machinery in it.
Yeah.
I know which level you're
the
talking
music
about. I can't remember
in
what it's
that
called
level, I was like, this does not feel like I'm playing a Mario game, because a lot of the Mario stuff up until this point has always kind of been symphonic or MIDI, and it always kind of had this, I don't want to say cartoon vibe, but it felt like a Mario game by just the music.
Have you ever played Mario? Galaxy.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the symphonic stuff still, I felt, captured a bit of that, but it sounded different, but the writing was the same. Like on a writing level, this feels different, and it's probably a different composer. I don't know if it's the same one from same composers from Odyssey. It was just some weird music directions that I wasn't expecting in a Mario game.
Has there been
at
a
all.
Mario game that wasn't scored by Koji Kondo?
Oh yeah, a lot of them.
Like a main one though? Like a main
Super Mario Galaxy.
I thought that was well.
He did a couple of the tracks, but he hasn't been the main composer for most of them.
Who did 3D World? Because 3D World has an amazing soundtrack.
Yeah, 3D World's got a great soundtrack. I honestly, there hasn't been a Mario game yet that I can recall that doesn't have a great soundtrack.
And I don't want to shit on. I'm not shitting on the music in this game. I love it. I love Sonic's music though, and it to me it was like, oh, this doesn't feel like Nintendo-ish type of. That whole game sort of doesn't feel like Nintendo at times. Just the weirdness of it all. That's the thing that I'm walking away with is like, wow, this game is a lot weirder than I thought. At times I feel like, oh, this looks and feels like a Mario level, and then at other times I don't know what they were thinking with this. It's really good, but very odd. Like the textures are really detailed, and here's Mario, the cartoon character, running around in it. Koji Kondo is listed, but he's not first listed in Super Mario 3D World. Mahito Yokota, Turo Minagishi, and Yasuaki Iwata. He, like I've said, like he hasn't been the sole composer on any Mario game since I think Sunshine.
Oh man!
But
just wait until you get to some of the later levels in that game.
Yeah,
There's some really good levels.
that game is.
I enjoyed the games the ones that stick out to me are the one with the giant, like the beach level that has the giant, like
Soda
basically
fountain?
champagne. Yeah,
Yep. I'm
soda
on that
fountain
one
in the
right
middle of
now.
it. And then the moon levels are really, really good.
I love
I've-
the
I-
food world.
Yeah, that one's
I've
cool
seen
too.
that one. I've been there through one of the portraits.
Yeah, that one's
Um,
definitely cool too.
I have not seen any of this game. I've seen the
Oh.
city one. I have not played this game. I have
Oh.
not seen anything of this
Oh
game.
man,
You need.
I
to
don't know
play
how
it.
I don't know how I've avoided it.
I don't
you're
know
missing
either.
out, man.
It's
It is
a-
so good.
It's a great Mario game.
I think like even the first like real level, the desert world,
Yep.
is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like because like I had gotten up to Cascade and I didn't even get to the boss, and I went, I don't know if I really like this Mario game when I first played it. But I borrowed it from the same friend that I was playing on his Switch, and I just was like, I'm gonna push on and to get to the next world. And as soon as I got to the whatever the desert is, you start off and it's frozen.
Yep.
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is kind of cool. Like, not like just. At first, I was like, because when you play through the Cascade Kingdom, you get a moon for almost everything you do,
Yeah.
and
that
at first
doesn't
it
change.
feels, it does a bit like it. Sometimes I get a moon and I go, really, you gave me a moon for that?
Yeah, I mean, towards the end though, you can buy moons.
Well, I can buy moons now. Like they've
Yeah,
been
well,
like,
I
hey,
mean,
here's
what I mean is like you can buy moons at any time, but by the end of the game, like they almost become trivial.
yeah. And that's the thing. I noticed like, oh, you could because I'm like play through a level before I do the story beats generally, and I'm like, oh wow, I have enough moons to just leave without caring. But I just can't believe some of the stuff. Like I'll do something and I'm like, damn, they put a bunch of coins up here just in case he came. Oh, here's a moon. Okay, I have to figure out how to get there, and then I do it, and I'm like, I feel really smart. Like, clearly they've set it up so that you get there, but I'm like, I still can't believe I figured that out. Like, there's just certain moments where I go, oh, that was awesome. Like, and then there's, again, for every moment they're like, just here's a moon. I'm like, I was smart enough to realize, like, I should probably check this out, and there was something there. And I'm impressed by how much exploration there is in this. That there isn't really in any other 3D Mario game to the same extent. I think closest you get is Sunshine. And I'm glad to see the return of, we're taking away that thing, and you're just going to do straight platforming to get a star. Just, I can't believe how much there is to do in this game that feels actually worthwhile, and not just you did a thing, here's your sticker. And then, like, the little costume changes you have to do. I have a couple of amiibo, so I've been dressing in the classic costume that's red suspenders rather than blue. But yeah, I've been really enjoying my time with that. I've been playing Animal Crossing. Who cares? I played a game called The Shattering. It's a first-person... I'm going to call it a... what's it called? Walking simulator. When I picked it up, I was thinking it was more of a puzzle game, and so far it hasn't shown its hand, and it was like, I was playing it, I'm like, I'm kind of getting annoyed, so I'm just going to stop playing this. But it was right after I played a different game called The Almost Gone, and that's a really good puzzle game. I don't suggest anybody play it, though. It's just a little short, and it's clearly telling a story, but it's so vague on the details that I kind of had to look up the interpretation of it, and I was like, okay, that makes sense, and that's probably what they were going for, but I don't think they give you enough detail. In the last chapter, I'm like, oh, clearly they're going to kind of explain to me what's been going on, and the last chapter is so quick and over so fast. I was like, I don't know why you even bothered having me do anything. Like, these were all the simplest puzzles in the game. But there's some really neat puzzles in there. It's one of those, if it's on sale, I think it's on phones. I think that's what it was made for originally. There was one puzzle that I had to look up the answer to, and it was like the same puzzle. I had to look up info on it twice. The first time was like an item that I needed, because it had an answer for this. Like, I'm putting in a combination, and I'm like, I have only 3 numbers. I'm like, I think the fourth one might be 0. No, the fourth one is in an object that you have to engage with, even though naturally you wouldn't, because they tell you, like, oh, the door's locked behind you. Why would you interact with the door again? So I look it up, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I wouldn't have thought of that. And then I had to look up another answer, and I went, I feel so dumb for having to look that up. It was one of those, as soon as I read it, I went, yeah, they made this, and it was a really smart puzzle, and I'm just too stupid to realize it, which I'm okay with feeling. I don't, as long as I feel like I've done myself an injustice by looking up the answer, I'm okay, as long, like, unlike Superland, where I'm like looking up the answers because I'm like, there's no fucking way I would possibly think of that. So I played that, and I'm sure I've played some other weird stuff throughout the week, but most of my time was spent downloading everything from the PlayStation Vita store that I have purchased, and then pushing it to my computer, just to make sure I had backups, because God forbid that store go down. Yeah. Did you know you have to turn on your PS3 to import certain games to the Vita, even though they're fully compatible? You just can't download them on the Vita? God, I fucking hate Sony. Yeah. I want my Capcom classics reloaded and remixed on my Vita, but I have to download them to the PS3. So that means I have to go into the shop on the PS3, which is so much fun. It actually didn't take forever to load, but good God, the fucking search system. Would you like to type in one letter at a time? Scroll down.
You would not like to type in one letter at a time?
Sorry. Would you like to scroll down, select the letter, and then wait for it to load the next options because it's trying to guess what you're thinking? That's what I mean. Yeah. All right, that's it for me. Hey, anybody else want to jump in? Ken, take over. It's your show.
Oh, thank you.
I'm like hearing silence, and I'm like, all right, I feel like I've said that I'm done here multiple times.
No, we'll move on to the Wombat then.
All right. So I have played. What have I played? I've played a decent amount, I will say, of played and watched, I'll say, a decent amount of Immortals: Phoenix Rising. My son and I are playing that. We're supposed to be playing it. He's supposed to be watching me play my game, and then he's got his own save file. But really, what it's turned into is him playing his save file and me watching.
Yeah.
But I've played some of it as well. When he gets stuck, I end up playing. It's a good game. I have some issues with the puzzles in some of the dungeons, where it feels like they really wanted to do some physics-based puzzles, but they didn't put enough guardrails in place to make sure the physics did what they wanted them to do before they built the puzzle.
I want to ask a question. Is it the one where
Yeah.
you have to pick up the blocks?
Well, that's an example, but
Because
really,
that one's brutal.
really the ones I'm thinking of are like, there was a puzzle the other day with the blocks where you hit them when they float, and then you hit them again and they stop floating, and you have to like sort of drag them along and throw them to where you want them to go.
That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, you're on the block, and then you pick up the next block, and you toss it a bit, and now you're making a ladder, but it's so slow, and it doesn't work really well. And
yeah, and there's also, plenty of ways in that to throw the block to a point where you can't get it, and you can't get it down, but it won't reset. So, and then like the big one that I was thinking of is there's a dungeon where you have to start a ball rolling down a hill, and then you basically have to race it up to the top, and it's built to where the ball rolls down this like Rube Goldberg machine and gets lifted up into the air via air vents. And there were several times where we had to restart that puzzle because the ball would go down its path, it would get blown up on an air vent, but instead of blowing up to the next vent like it was supposed to, it would just blow off to the side and fall.
yeah, it's taken the turn. It hits the vent wide, and then it blows on the one side too much and blows off the thing. And you're like, well, I can't steer the ball. It should be in a track. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the only real sort of negative that I found on the game so far. Otherwise, I'm really digging it. Jacob's really digging it. Like I said, I think we're probably 8 or 9 hours in at this point. I love the characters are all really great. I love what how they've kind of twisted some of the mythology on its head, and it's very good. And the combat I actually really like too. So it does feel like the Phosphor, the Phoenix, it does feel like, depending on how you have him set up, he can make it relatively easy to cheese some of the bosses. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's up to you to decide whether or not you use him to cheese the bosses or not. Like, it's not a strategy you have to use. But if he has enough stun, you can kind of just hang back and hit him with the bird whenever it's available. And he takes a pretty good chunk of health away. Not as much as you would if you were right up in their face, but enough to chip them away and still be relatively safe. But that's on a normal difficulty. I don't know what it plays like on hard. So it might be completely different on hard.
I ain't got no time for that shit.
I ain't got no time for that either. But otherwise, I'm really, really enjoying it. I think it's very good game, and the art style is tremendous. The other game that I've been playing is I'm back into Assassin's Creed Valhalla, trying to go through and finish that up. I don't think I'll be able to have it finished up in time for Hitman, so I'll probably have to take another break when Hitman comes out, because I intend on buying that. What what else have I played? My son is in the process of trying to finish Miles Morales, so I've watched him play some of that, and that game is just as interesting watching it the second time around as it was the first time. Trying to think if I played anything else. No, I think that's pretty much it. My son informed me last week, though, that Spellbreak
Oh boy.
is even better than Fortnite.
That won't last.
That was his opinion last week. So he and his friends tend to migrate, but they tend to they orbit around 3 games at a time. They don't orbit around 7 or 8 games at a time. It's okay, right now we're obsessed with Ark and Minecraft and Fortnite. And so all we play are those games, and it's just a question of which one are we playing right now. And then for my son, for a while, it was My Hero One's Justice 2 was his game that he and his friends were kind of congregated around. Well, last week they discovered Spellbreak, and he told me this game is like Fortnite, but even better. And we're going to be playing this a lot from now on. And I haven't gotten the sense from him that they are still playing that game a lot.
Yeah, that's kind of how Spellbreak worked for me. I was like, oh, this looks neat. Well, I'm done.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been in orbit around Spellbreak. Outside of that, I really haven't played much else. Just kicking around waiting for Hitman.
All right.
And that's pretty much it.
Well, I will wrap this up. I, like Drew, I went to a backlog, and I have been toying around. I was going to say I dove back in, but that pun's too easy. I've been toying back around with Maneater.
Oh, nice.
That
on PS5?
No, I had it on
Xbox.
Xbox, and it got the upgrade on day one, which was nice. I just never went back to it.
Gotcha.
But I started picking that back up again, and that game is a lot of stupid fun. It really is.
Does it last though?
Yeah. I like the fact that you're constantly. It's kind of like what's a game I want to compare it to? Basically, the more you eat, the bigger you get. Almost like a Katamari Damacy kind of feel.
Right.
You just keep eating shit, and then you can eat bigger shit, and you can eat bigger shit, and it's got this nice little
Tokyo Dungeon. Tokyo what was it called? Tokyo Jungle.
Yeah, just not as. Imagine the lightest RPG you can think of, where basically all you do is upgrade 2 things.
Yeah.
And that's the shark. You can get stronger jaws, or you can get electric jaws, or you can have a tougher skin, so the enemies do less damage to you. It's a real simple skill tree, real simple open world kind of stuff. Hey, grab this license plate. Hey, eat 8 humans.
I said it was like Tony Hawk for that reason. You have a small area. There's a bunch of objectives to do. You do those. You move on to the next area.
Yeah.
Oh, the objectives. Some of them are I'll never get this.
No. I 100% that game before review.
Okay.
The only roadblock I ran into is in the first area. There's a level 15 alligator, and you definitely will not hit level 15 when you finish everything in the first area.
Yeah, that's honestly there's 2 things in that game that make 100%ing it very hard. The first area is brutal, which is kind of weird, because it gets easier the further you go on. Even fighting what should be harder enemies, and some of I have to eat a certain amount of people, or getting the hunters to come after you. When you have to start attacking people, some of the stuff to get high enough is a little bit time consuming. But again, nothing of it was so difficult that I couldn't get every single achievement on it. So
yeah, and it never gets old jumping up out of the water and hitting a hunter on a boat and just dragging him
Or-
back into the water.
I thought you were gonna say jumping through the streets slowly, chasing someone as they run away.
Oh, I've done that plenty of times when I'm trying to find hidden items, like bouncing myself on the land, like, come out! Come out! But no, that game, it's free on PlayStation 5 if you have one, so you should...
Yeah, I don't have one, so...
Well, you should still redeem it, because eventually you'll get a PS5.
Yeah, probably in about a year and a half.
Yeah, but it'll be a free game sitting in your library.
Well,
Don't...
it's free. It's free if you have PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
Well, Drew's got PlayStation Plus. Come on.
I've got PlayStation Plus until it runs out. The only reason I got it was so me and Matt could play Dead Space 3 together.
Yeah, but when you get a PS5, you'll get a PlayStation Plus.
What kind of Sony pony would you be if you didn't have PlayStation Plus?
I don't know why I ever got that moniker, but I am... I play video games. I don't play consoles.
Yeah, you play video games on a Sony console.
Everything that I talked about was either a PC or a Xbox Series X or 3DS.
Yeah.
That's just what I'd expect a pony to say.
Yeah.
And I still kind of whittle away at one level at a time in the Serious Sam collection. It's kind of like a shut your brain off and just kind of roll backwards and fire machine guns at hundreds of enemies.
That's exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I was. When you said Serious Sam, the first thing I want to go was.
Yep.
That's always the first thing that comes to my mind.
It's the best enemy ever.
It is.
Just so stupid. It is headless, brainless thing that just runs towards you with two bombs in their hands.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic.
The best is that level. I think is it the first one or the second one where there's that level when you come out into that somewhat open field and there's just tons of those guys running at you.
I think that's
every
second
game.
Encounter. Yeah, that's it. Second encounter. I think
that might.
Like that.
Okay.
Well,
I only played the first two, so
Okay,
I can't remember one where you're in the desert.
Dude,
And
I'm pretty
there's
sure
like
there's a desert in every level in every game.
Well, when they introduced them, there's like a sand dune, and you hear the. It gets closer.
Okay, yeah, it's the first game.
And they come over the sand dune. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the part. That's exactly the part I'm thinking of.
What's great about that is they pace it out where you shoot the first one and you go, ha. Like Serious Sam says some sort of stupid line, and he goes, ha. And then he goes, oh no. And then you just see the swarm of them come over the dune. That's the first game.
Okay,
They end up repeating that in Serious Sam 3 as well.
I mean, the game's just dumb fun. And
they don't do them anymore. I like Painkiller. It's the same type of game.
Well, they don't do. You know why they don't do them anymore? Because only the first one was good, like really good.
Hell and Damnation was pretty good.
That's a remake of the first one. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure, right?
well, I don't know.
HD. Hell and Damnation.
Is that what that is?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's the HD version.
Gotcha. I played that game and I was like, this is going to be just a one and done kind of thing. And I was like, no, I want to beat this.
The first one is made by the same people that did Bulletstorm.
People Can Fly, which are now doing Outriders.
And then the other games in the Painkiller series were not.
Gotcha.
People Can Fly, like every game they make is pretty interesting. They try
something different.
Yeah, I like the new one that they're doing. I played the beta of Outriders, and I thought that was pretty neat. I'll be interested when that game comes out.
Yeah, I saw some people on Twitter talking about that game.
That's a third-person like Borderlands game.
It's not as much Borderlands as it is. I don't really know how to describe it. It is a third-person game. There is loot in it.
Anthem.
No, it's definitely better than Anthem.
Well, I mean,
it's
in the same style.
You get like these, like you can pick a class and you can go down the skill tree and but I don't know. It's good, is what I'll say. I don't really know how to describe it. It reminds me of a Gears of War meets like a loot game meets like something else. It's interesting. I like it.
That's coming out March?
Got delayed.
Oh.
Which basically every game in 2021 is going to get delayed, so just be prepared for that. I checked out the upgraded version of Jedi Fallen Order. That game
how's it look?
Looks really good. Looks really sharp, and finally having it kind of locked at 60 frames a second is very nice.
Maybe I'll finally play that game one day then.
You should, because it's a wonderful
good
fucking
game.
game.
Yeah, it's really good.
I'll go through the indie games I played for the week. Drew, if it's so stupid for me to say this, but I know you're like me and you're doing the 10,000 points.
So I didn't talk about them, but I played a couple of games that I got like a lot of points out of. So right now, Xbox is holding an event. It's a gamer score challenge, and if you sign up for it, every achievement point that you get is converted into Microsoft points that you can then use to redeem, Xbox Live Gold or Game Pass. And you can get up to 10,000 points.
Yep.
So I downloaded a bunch of Game Pass games that give you really easy achievements. One of which is a good game. I replayed What Remains of Edith Finch.
That's a wonderful
That's a great game. Yeah.
That is a fantastic game, but it only took me 2 hours to get through that game, and I was like, yep, there's you 1,000 points. And then I did another game, which was an indie game. What was it called, Ken? I told you about it.
Fractured Minds, which I went back to look at. I'd already beat it. So
Yeah, Fractured Minds, which is a... Woo,
the only achievement in that game that's hard to get is getting the dude to show up on the highway level.
yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah.
the only one that's hard to get. Otherwise, you just push forward and you get 1,000 points.
Yes, you do. And that took me 38 minutes.
I got
So-
a better one for you, but you had to pay for it.
Yeah, what is it?
So, one of the games I played this week on the indie releases is called Loot Hero DX.
Okay.
You literally press right for about 10 minutes, you'll get 1,000 points.
How much is this game?
I have no idea how much it is. I thought it was like $4.99, which is funny because 1,000 points is only $1, so you'd actually lose money by doing this.
This is true. Nah, I'm good.
But it
I'll just do a bunch of Bing searches and get the exact same thing.
Yeah, no, it was funny because I booted it up. It's not a bad game. It's literally like you're this little knight dude and pushing to the right. Like when you touch an enemy, it attacks them. But
Sounds
there's
like a 10-second hero.
yeah, but in this game, like every set of enemies, there's a shop. And as you kill enemies, you earn XP and coins, and at the shop you can upgrade one of 4 things. It literally took me 10 minutes to go from beginning to end. Like, and get every achievement. I beat the game and got every achievement in like 10 minutes. It was fun, but I don't know that I'd tell you to buy it.
No.
It's $5.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
No. There's plenty of Game Pass games out there that I can play and get some pretty easy achievements. Apparently, some garden. I can't remember what the name of the game is. There's something. It's got garden in its name, but apparently you can get in an hour.
Well, the next game I played was very interesting. It's called Life of Fly. And
Fly as in like a fly?
Yeah, like as in an actual fly. So this game is broken up into 12 levels. Each level is based on a different fly. And all you do is fly through these rings, and it gives you a narrative of what the fly is thinking.
Wow.
Is it comedic?
No, it's dead fucking serious. And,
Oh, no.
and I think that's what kind of makes it.
Is it supposed to be educational?
I think it's supposed to be kind of like dark comedy.
Artsy.
Yeah, like artsy. Because like literally the tutorial level is like, welcome to the life of Fly. You might think that we're stupid creatures, but we have a lot of mental things that we think about when flying around through a house. You know, that kind of conversation. But yeah,
I'm going to land on this and vomit on it.
I haven't landed in any of the levels. It's basically like you have a room or a house or something and you fly through it and there's these rings, and as you fly through the ring, a different narrative plays.
Is it voiced?
Yes.
Great.
Can I just get look, if we're gonna have like a fly game, it needs to basically just be Mr. Mosquito, but instead of landing on people to suck their blood, you're landing on their food and trying to steal it.
I mean, sure.
Listen, as long as it's not Mr. Domino, because as we all know,
Nobody can stop.
no one can stop Mr. Domino.
Sounds
It'd be
very
great.
threatening.
It'd be great if it actually was voiced by Jeff Goldblum.
That would be great.
I flew through the living room and
No, that's the final level. You're just walking Jeff Goldblum through rings.
I'd play that game. I'd totally play that game. The next game I played is called.
Talks to himself.
Then you got to fly to a shotgun and shoot yourself.
Oh, jeez.
It happened in the movie. I'm sorry.
I know, but some of those movies we don't talk about. The next game I played is called The Child's Light. That's the first-person horror game. It's kind of generic. Also, you can't invert controls, so fuck that game. The next game I played, I actually want to keep playing. It's called Down in Bermuda, and it is a game. If it feels like it was definitely a phone game, but you're this guy who crash lands on this island, and you can kind of pan the. It's like you can't walk around like a 3D game, but you can pan the camera, you can zoom it in and out, and basically what you have to do is you have to solve these puzzles by clicking on buttons and pulling levers and things like that. And each island has a different set of like characters that you talk to, and they give you clues. But I actually really liked what I played of it so far. Like, it was a really interesting kind of puzzle game. It's got this real kind of bright, colorful art style. Looks very cartoon.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and it's like it's way more detailed than I thought it was going to be. Like, just seeing the things underwater and stuff.
Yeah, like, I love that the first island basically has the fucking the Tootsie Pop turtle. Like, he even has the glasses and shit. Like, as soon as he popped up out of the thing, I was like, how many licks does it take, motherfucker?
Does he actually say that?
No, I wish he did. If he did, it would be a better game. But I did enjoy the
Good
game.
call, by the way, on it being a app store, because yes, it has a 4.7 on the Apple App Store.
It's good. I really enjoy it, but you can tell like when a game on a console is an app is like a phone game, because like you'll see the home button that's like a big circle at the top when you push pause or something. So, the next game I play is called Glitch's Trip. It's a pretty standard left to right, 1-1, 1-2, 1-3 kind of puzzle action game. But the last game I played was probably the most interesting. It's called Jet Cave Adventure, and it is a left-to-right action platformer where you play as a caveman who an alien crash lands in prehistoric times, and the caveman gets a fucking jetpack.
Is his name Oogie Miktag?
Not that I'm aware of, but
Is his name Bob Maluga, Luga?
it's, a jetpack is so easy a caveman could do it, okay? But no, this game is actually very well done. It's got some nice production values. It has some voice acting, which is not bad. And I really like the premise, and it's a pretty competent platformer.
You want to know why it's called Jet Cave Adventure with the K?
Okay, why?
It's the name of the character is Cave.
Oh, well, there you go. His name is Cave.
I do like the first line of their summary on Steam. Jet Cave Adventure is a completely historically inaccurate yet highly entertaining 2.5D adventure platformer. Thaw out your inner caveman and join the skill-based action.
It's a good video game.
I fear, because this is bothering me, do you not get my reference?
Which reference?
Oogie Miktag.
No, I don't know what that is.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force? Frylock makes a time machine that accidentally goes back in time, and a caveman gets it and comes back in time.
Doesn't he try to sell you car insurance or something?
No, you guys don't remember
that episode.
Well, he wears the tie at one point, doesn't he?
I can't remember. He shows up twice.
Well, he wears the tie once, and he's like trying to sell you something. He's like, "Bye!" Ah!
He tries to rip his own head off.
I don't remember that.
I believe you, but it's been like 15 years.
We must have been on different.
Force, so.
We must have been on different levels of PCP in the episodes we watched, because I don't remember that one.
And
his
he
name
named
is
it
just Oog.
Oog, but it's shortened to Oog. But Oogie Miktag was like Klingon, like.
Wasn't there like an orb?
Frylock named
Oog
it.
is a caveman who was educated through Frylock's second Oog.
Wasn't there was like an orb or something? Wasn't there?
Yeah, it was an orb.
Okay.
Yeah. The orb.
Okay.
Yeah.
The orb. Okay, I remember the orb.
Right. God damn. I had to go to the Aqua Teen Hunger Force wiki. There's your shout out.
Oh Jesus.
Lone person that is updating that wiki, I am sure.
Oh, also, if you have Bloodstained, you should go check out the classic mode, which is basically like Castlevania, like NES Castlevania style Bloodstained. There's like 5
I need
levels.
I need to go back and play the other campaigns too.
Yeah, you can play the classic mode now, where it's literally just straight 2D, like you can only attack one direction kind of thing.
The darkening of Tristram is happening as well in Diablo 3.
Oh, I don't even have that game installed.
So
I still have it installed, but I've got to put the disc back in and do all that mess. So
can't be bothered to put it in the disc.
All that
no,
mess.
I'm sure there will be updates and stuff, and I don't know if you need any of the. Do you need any of the DLCs for that? Because I don't have any of the DLCs.
No, it's like
There's
a free
only
event.
one
It
DLC.
makes everything look like Diablo 1.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. There's
Yeah,
only
you-
one
you-
DLC for Diablo 3, right? The
Necromancer one?
Technically, the Act 5 was DLC.
But it was included with all the console versions, though.
It was included with the PS4 and Xbox One versions. The PS3 and
Well,
Xbox
who the
360
fuck's still
versions
playing
did
the
not.
PS3 version, Drew?
All I'm saying is some people may own that version.
I owned the 360 version.
Well,
but
I
don't
owned
now.
all of
I
them,
now,
but that's not the one I'm
Yeah.
going to play.
yeah, I own now. What is it called? Hold on. There's an edition name for it.
Immortal.
The Ultimate
It might
Evil
be that.
Edition.
No,
Ultimate
it's
Evil
not the
Edition.
It's not the Ultimate Evil Edition, because the Ultimate Evil Edition, I think, is the one that's got everything.
Oh,
don't
Reaper
know.
of Souls was the name of the DLC.
Hold on.
I don't
Let me
fucking
look at
know.
installed games. Hold on.
Oh, Jesus.
The version I have
Fancy.
is the Eternal Collection.
That's the full game. That's
I
That-
don't think
full
so.
version.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
Well,
the
Oh, well, then I
Eternal
don't know how
Collection
I have.
comes
I
with
don't know
Rise of the
how
Whoa,
I
whoa,
Mad
have-
whoa, whoa, no. It might be the version... You're looking at your icon, right?
Yeah.
It's going
So-
to update to that whether you have that or not.
Oh, okay. I have the Ultimate Evil Edition. That is the one that I have.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
you don't
It looks
have
like
the
Reaper
collection.
of- No. Hold on. Y'all gonna make me get up and actually look at the box.
Yeah,
Might as well put that disc in while you're up.
Yeah, why don't you put the
Diablo-
disc in while you're up and all that?
Yeah.
Diablo 3 Ultimate Evil is Diablo 3 and Reaper of Souls.
But that's not the
Yeah.
whole game, because there was also
No.
the
Yes.
Necromancer.
That is what I have.
The
And
Eternal
that is what I have.
Collection.
it has
comes
the
with-
Crusader class and bounties, and then the
Ultimate.
other version is the full version, which is
Di-
Eternal Collection.
Yeah.
Diablo Reaper of Souls Ultimate Evil Collection or Ultimate Evil Edition is the one that I have.
Yes. So that comes with Act 5 and the Crusader. They released a second DLC, which was Rise of the Necromancer, which added the Necromancer.
Yes. Which you had to pay for regardless of which version you bought on disc, unless you buy the new.
So
Yes.
you're telling me that if I put this in now, I get the Ultimate Evil Edition with all the DLC?
Not the Necromancer. You have to pay for that.
Not the Necromancer.
Yeah.
I'm
It'll
looking-
update the game to that version so they are in the game, but you do not have access to them.
Two of them.
The
Got it.
only thing, yes, so the only thing you're missing though is the Necromancer class.
Yes. That is
Yes.
the only
Okay.
thing you are missing.
Which is $15 and doesn't seem worth it because I wouldn't play as that character.
$15
Oh.
for one character? That's
It
stupid.
is, but damn, is the Necromancer a great class?
He is, but
Yeah,
that's
but-
not $15.
Yeah, I saw it too because I started jumping back into the Xbox version, and I was like, let me get the Necromancer. I was like, $15 for a character that came out 3 years ago. Oh, I don't know about that.
Nah, dog. You can buy that version on sale most weeks for like $19.99 with the Necromancer, so fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I
For
feel
sure.
like if I was gonna, as much as I'll get shit for this from some people, I'm sure. I feel like if I was going to actually spend money at this point in my life on Diablo 3, it would be getting the Switch version on sale so that at least it was portable.
I hear that version is actually really good.
It's fine.
I tell you, speaking of Diablo, I looked at some pre-alpha footage of Diablo 4. That's looking real good, guys.
I'm sure it'll be good.
Oh, that's
I'm
looking
sure.
real good.
I heard Immortals was good too, or Immortal, not Immortals.
The phone version.
Yeah, the mobile one.
Yeah. But Diablo 4, man, they're bringing skill points back. So you're going to be putting points into strength, dexterity.
I'm sure when Diablo
intelligence.
4 comes out, I will buy it. I will play a lot of it.
Oh, that is day one for me.
So I'm not. I don't. It's one of those games like I don't need to see. It's kind of like Overwatch 2. Like I'll be happy when I get a date, but I don't need to see it.
What class you going to go with, Ken?
You already got my money. I don't know. It's fucking Diablo. I don't even know what class. I'll pick when I press start.
Okay. I'm going Druid.
I mean, you're making plans for 2022 at this point, Drew.
You think 2022? I'm thinking 2023, boss.
I'm being optimistic, but I'm not making plans for 2023 yet. I might be dead by then.
That's true.
Not to be dark or anything, but
Yeah.
let's talk about what's coming out this week. Hey, we got releases for the new consoles this week.
I will be damned.
We got Hitman 3 and Ride 4.
The motorcycle game?
Yeah, you ride a motorcycle.
I remember a reviewed Ride.
Well, this is the
One.
fourth one.
I didn't even know they had two in between there.
Oh, they did. You just didn't know about it.
No, I didn't care about it either.
All right. Also coming out this week for now we call them the old consoles. We've got Off-Road Racing Buggy X ATV X Moto. Say that three times fast. Hitman 3 also coming to old consoles. King of Fighters 14 Ultimate Edition. Bladed Fury. And Redout Space Assault.
Is Hitman going to be any type of smart delivery?
Yeah, it's if you buy it, it's the same. If you buy it on Xbox, you just get the best version.
Right.
PlayStation, there'll be two versions, so make sure you buy the right one. And that game is coming to the Switch.
Yes, it is. Is that streaming only one?
I don't know. It has to be, right? It has to
Yeah,
be.
yeah, it is.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking. They did it with Resident Evil 7 in Japan?
In Japan, but they did it for Control in the US.
I gotcha.
So, on Xbox, you're getting Toronos, Marble Duel, Air Bounce the Jump and Run Challenge, Unspottable, Adverse, and Skycadia. Then, on the Nintendo Switch, we're back, baby! We're back to 600 releases on the Nintendo Switch. It's exciting. What's the last day of the week, so I know when this ends? 22nd. All right, we got Clay Skeet Shooting. Skeet. Olympic Table Tennis, Red Colony, Spinny's Journey, War Truck Simulator, All Walls Must Fall, Audi, the Housekeeper, Terratopia, Bezier, 2nd Edition, Bouncing Hero, Chess Royale, Ephemeral, Fantasy on Dark, Froderick, the Driver, Ghostinoid, I swear I'm not making up these names, I swear. Grisaya, Phantom Trigger 5.5, Jiffy, Missile Dancer,
Jiffy. How's it spelled?
Jiffy,
Okay.
I'll be your missile dancer.
Nosferatu Lilinor,
What?
Rotund Rebound, Sally Face, Ching! I say
I've
it
heard
like
of
that
that.
because it has an exclamation point at the end.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
Tadpole Treble Encore. The game is on.
Oh boy.
Abyss, The Wraiths of Eden. Cattch, all capitals. Colorful Color. Gradiently. Those are your Nintendo Switch games for the week.
Radiantly?
Gradiently. Gradiently. So basically, if there's a game you're looking forward to on the Switch this week, it'll be fucking Buried again. Because there are fucking 30 games coming out. The reason I was quiet earlier is there was some breaking news. You want to hear some breaking news?
Sure.
I'm gonna say a name that you haven't.
Okay.
Calm down and let me get through it. God damn it!
I know what you're about to talk about.
This just came out now. It's a name you might not have heard in a while. Mr. Tomonobu Itagaki made a comment
Why
today.
did I know you were going to say Itagaki?
He made a comment today. He has established his own company called Itagaki Games, which is not Tecmo nor Valhalla. I know Microsoft is still aggressive. If they reach out to me, it will be an honor for me. Itagaki looking to get bought, son.
Didn't he already separate and make his own gaming studio?
Valhalla.
And then he's separating from it and making his own game studio?
Yeah, called Itagaki Games.
I don't know what that studio has done since Devil's Third
That's the only thing they did.
shit itself into the marketplace.
This man is dead. Bang.
That game. Whew, that game.
And I love that because so it was posted to Reddit, and I just left the comment. They're like Ninja Gaidens, and I'm like, I think you mean Devil's Third.
Rooples pooples.
You don't mention the thing from like 20 years ago. Mention the thing that the last thing that he did, which was awful.
Hey.
I don't like Iron Bird.
Bang.
Bang.
Bird good for eating. The Deathstroke. He's my favorite way to swim. Also favorite superhero.
God, that's the only thing that was good that came out of Devil's Third was the Game Grumps making fun of Devil's Third.
Oh my god, there's a ton of episodes of it too, and they're all good. Shoot the man in the head, bang. You're dead.
This man dead. Bang.
Bang. Poke head out, please. Don't ask me how I know Shakira. Oh shit! I love it.
By Ryan's silence, he doesn't get it either.
No clue.
They're
Not a
making
clue.
fun of the main character. I don't know what his name is.
Oh god, they call
it
him
Ivan?
Ivan in the video,
No.
but I don't remember if that's his actual name or not.
I
He
have
has a
not
Russian
played
accent.
Devil's Third, nor have I ever watched the game Grumps. So
Oh, you've
I
missed
am.
out.
I could not be farther down a hole than I am right now.
Don't worry, it just burn some money, and you've essentially played Devil's Third.
Yeah.
That game is only available on the Wii U. The physical copies were extremely limited, and the digital version has never been cheaper than $60.
And it's not worth $60.
It's not worth $6. It's a bad video game.
I don't know.
I just-
$6, I feel like you could get some entertainment out of. Like, this is really fun.
I mean,
Mm.
if Itagaki comes back and Microsoft buys him and gives him a bunch of money, he could probably shit out something, I suppose. And you got the name alone.
You know what?
Microsoft doesn't have like any Japanese studios, Drew. They'll take what they can get.
Oh, I don't think
I
that's
don't know
the
about
case.
that, man. They just spent a lot of money on Bethesda. They're
Yeah,
like,
but they could probably
we
get
really don't
Itagaki
need
for like a
you.
Happy Meal and a nickel. It's fine.
Well, we'll see.
We will pay you to leave our office, sir.
Yeah. Phil just brings him in. It's like, hey,
Would you like to buy one of these extra copies of Devil's Third that I couldn't sell on the market?
They're gonna bring it back on the Xbox on Game Pass. You can play Devil's Third. I'd
Oh.
fucking play it.
Devil's
So,
Fourth.
so yeah, I was getting ready to say. So you're saying we shouldn't expect to see a Devil's Fourth?
He'll make another DOA fighting game, except not call it DOA,
Ugh.
Yeah,
or another
it'll
DOA.
be DOA in spirit.
Yes. Ninja Side Story.
Ninja boobs. I mean, that's like the history of his games, right? Just ninja boobs. That's what you call it.
Mm. I don't know. Ninja Gaiden Black was pretty good. That was about as far as I went.
Dead or Alive is a good fighting game. It's just, yeah,
It's buried under a lot of embarrassing stuff.
yeah, extreme. Like it's one of those games that like you'd play it and you're like, this plays really good, but I don't want anybody to see me playing this game.
It's
Right.
like Stinrick and Gura.
Yeah, Senran Kagura is a great action game, but don't.
That is a good action game.
Don't-
Man, I don't want anybody to see me play that video game.
No.
No.
I see people proud of that game online. They're like, "Look at my statues." I'm like, "Whoa."
Look at these collector's editions I bought. Did the guy that sell it to you look at you funny? Because I would have.
I would have handed.
Or was the guy that sold it to you wearing a Goku silk shirt?
My suggestion: don't make fun of
With
Gambus.
flames.
Okay, don't make fun of Gambus.
I love
Don't
this
ever
shirt.
take a Senran Kagura game and trade. That's good
Yeah,
advice.
no.
That's good advice.
Yeah. No.
Well, I've never actually bought one of those, and every one that I ever got was digital. So I own them forever.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I don't know. Those are, whoo, man. That's God. You gave me that one to review that was like a cooking game. I was like, I'm not having fun here at all. It's embarrassing, and I'm cooking.
But it's also it gives you a
need-
funny feeling, like when you climbed a rope in gym class.
No.
No, now need her breasts. This is very odd.
Oh, if you want to see something that's absolutely hilarious, watch Drew and I do the action game where I show him the one where you can take the hands and slap them.
Oh, God, we did do a video of that.
Yes,
didn't
we did, and I showed you where you could take the hands with the analog sticks and slap their jiggle parts.
Oh, Jesus.
Pretty sure I was like, I don't want to see this anymore.
Just your reaction to when I did it is one of the best video moments we've had on this site.
So, there is a slice of the gaming public. It is so pathetic.
You think?
The thing is like, I get YouTube ads with those kind of characters constantly
How do you not have ad blocker on your YouTube?
on my phone
Oh, God, yes.
because I watch most of my YouTube stuff on my phone.
Mm.
And I'm just like, man, why?
What you been looking at? What you been searching, Drew?
I do video game stuff, and apparently they think I'm like a really hardcore, like in the lollies.
I got an ad on Instagram that's like, "Hey, here's a dating site for gamer or made by gamers for gamers," and I'm like, the only time I want to see that is for deodorant. Anything else? Fuck off.
A dating site made by gamers for gamers. Just
I'm like, so it's empty.
I was gonna say there's too many jokes there. It's just one type of person.
Oh, yeah, the last thing I want to do. I said, so speaking of movie games, I sent Ken a message, and I'm like, if for some reason we get a code for Sense, a Cyberpunk story, I will take it. Sounds interesting. Big shame about the boobs.
Big shame about the boobs.
It's yeah.
Ken's
I wonder
like,
how many 1,000-year-old dragons there are on that dating site.
Quite a few.
Can you follow it up with only if it shows up, or do you want me to reach out about it? And I wrote back, only if it shows up. The day I ask you to reach out for a booby game, please kick me out.
The sad part is there are far too many of those games available.
God, yeah.
Yeah, well, no, I think the sad part is that there are far so many of those games because they sell.
Oh, absolutely.
Here's
People
your
love
mouse
that
pad.
stuff.
Here's your mouse pad that looks like it has boobs.
I remember when they sent me one of those in like a PR thing.
I've heard I heard they sent out panties at one point.
Yeah, for what's that game
Lord.
called?
Dude, which one?
Didn't they do it for
Please arrest me, the video game.
That sounds about right. But isn't there like a straight up like panty game on the Switch?
Yes.
isn't it-
Jesus Christ.
You shoot panties.
Yes, that's the one I'm thinking of.
It's not a no. That's not. It's not a Kibas trip, right?
No. Akiba's Trip. They
It's
just
not Gun
rip
Gal?
their clothes off. It's not
Gal
Gun Gal. It's called Panty something.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
You're just not even burying the lead now. All right.
Hold on, Switch.
I think it was a Wii U title, right?
It's called Panty Party.
Panties.
Oh my
Of course it's
God.
called that.
Also, by the way, Drew,
Hold on. Yes.
They fly around like birds.
Drew, I have to say
that is
you were-
bird.
you were-
Did.
You were close. Catherine's special edition came with boxers.
That's
Here you
right.
go. Here you go.
Vince
I got
wears
it.
boxers
Look in the
out
chat.
there. Oh my fucking
Oh
god.
God. Oh God. Just
That edition. I
Yeah.
bet you that edition's like $150.
hold on. I need to see. I'm surprised it doesn't have waifu pillowcase. Holy shit.
So that's going to be the image for the podcast. This
Look at
week?
that. It's got scratch and sniff stickers.
Oh my god.
God.
I don't
Who
know.
made this
I don't
video
know if
game?
they're scratch and sniff. They're just
Nothing.
stickers.
Nothing has ever made me more embarrassed than the last 10 minutes of this conversation.
Wait, there's fine print down here. I have to click on that.
It just says that the design
Design
is
is subject to
change.
change. False advertising. This is not the pennies they sent me.
Notice that that game is only available on the Nintendo Switch as far as consoles are concerned.
Oh my
Nintendo,
god.
Nintendo's seal of panty approval.
Yeah, that's what they're going to look like. It's going to be a pair with a big Nintendo seal of quality on the front of it.
Oh yeah, really.
That sounds really gross now that I think
My
about it.
reaction to the scratch and sniff stickers.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Anthony. Scratch and sniff stick. Well, I mean, it's a sheet of stickers, and that's like the first thing that came to my brain. Is like, are they scratch and sniff?
You're a real child of the 80s. Oh, scratch and sniff.
Just
Oh,
These games, man, they're so fucking stupid.
God, I was going to make a really bad joke, but I'm not going to.
yeah. Leave that joke in the chamber, Drew. It's
the
not the
video
place.
game industry has turned into a multi-billion-dollar industry, and yet still, this is the kind of stuff that gets put out.
Oh yeah,
So-
people buy
so-
the shit out of it, dude.
I fear that there is somebody listening to the show who purchased Panty Party and is offended by us saying this right now.
Yeah, but they're not going to say it out loud.
I just want to tell you, I don't care if I offended you. You should be embarrassed that you own this.
Especially if you own this edition. If the mailman had to bring this to your house, you should apologize to yourself, to your family, and to the mailman.
You've never sounded older there, right? When you said if the mailman has to.
If the milk delivery man has to bring this to your house
Oh shit!
for your ice chest,
If the
If-
postal
if-
service exists. All right.
Oh my
There's
god!
other news we could talk about, maybe.
Panty Party 2 coming to a store near you.
Sony put up some PS5s on their reward site. They lasted all of about 5 minutes. But I guess that the system will now be available on Sony Rewards when there are stock. So if you've
tell
got
you what, it is impossible. I got my boss is trying to find either a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X for his kids, and
yeah, you can't find them.
it's I turned him on to Wario 64, and so he's been checking those as they come up. But even still, Dell had some the other day, and they were gone by the time he went to put it in his cart. And he
Yeah.
was sitting on Dell's website, refreshing the page, waiting for it to come up.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy how fast these systems are selling. It's good. It's good for the
Yeah.
industry. I just wish they would, get to a point where they could manufacture them as fast as they're selling them.
No
Oh.
kidding, man. I know my wife, she's like, after Christmas, she's like, I tried to get you a PlayStation 5 for Christmas. I was like, babe, you should have just went ahead and told me that, and I would have told you just to stop wasting your time.
Yeah, it's like that's just gonna be a whole bunch of time wasted right there.
She's like, I can't
I can't
believe
believe
how
it.
you can't find them anywhere. I was like, I know.
Yeah, I can't play Panty Party, so don't even.
I'm gonna send your wife a DM and be like, need to buy Drew Panty Party.
She'll be like, well, Drew, I had to block Ken today. It finally happened.
It finally happened. I crossed the line. Drew's like, well, did you buy it? In
Oh
keeping
my
in
God.
tradition, there's been a lot of video game documentaries, a lot of really good ones. I watched, I did a free trial for CBS All Access to see if I would want to look at it at some point, but by the way, I don't. But they do have that Console Wars documentary on there. That's really good. But
Is that the Seth Rogen thing?
Yes.
No.
Yeah,
That's not Seth Rogen.
yes, it is because he's an executive producer on it.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Because that's not what they were originally doing. Because apparently they're still working on the fiction,
biopic
acted out version.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is straight up like the Super Nintendo versus the Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what this is. It's like an hour and a half. It's really good. I suggest getting a free trial to CBS Access and watching it.
Because the book is done, I don't want to say fictionalized, but it's altered a bit because it's telling you a story, so you're following a character basically, which is not what you do with a documentary where you're talking to different people.
You kind of follow Tom Kalinske in this movie.
Well, that's what the book follows.
This is basically Tom Kalinsky's recount of the Sega Genesis versus Nintendo thing. And he's in it, so there is that. But there's a new one coming called the NBA Jam documentary. So if you want to watch a documentary about NBA Jam.
I don't know how interesting that would be after like 30 minutes, you know?
I liked NBA Jam, but
there's talk of NBA Jam and Insert Coin, which is very good, by the way. If you have not seen that, watch that.
Yeah, Insert Coin does a great job.
Yeah, that's on Amazon Prime now. So it's not just available through that weird website. Like we talked about Hitman 3 coming to the Switch. That's pretty cool. Even though I would never play that game there. No way.
Yep.
No how.
Speaking of Hitman 3, because it's Epic Store exclusive for however fucking long, they're trying to figure out a way where that, like, because the thing with the Hitman games is that every edition has new mechanics, but you've been able to bring the previous levels forward. So if you owned Hitman 1, in Hitman 2, you could play the Hitman 1 levels with the new mechanics. And so the same thing is supposed to happen in 3, except that it can't because the Epic Game Store isn't attached to Steam, right? So, what's his name from Epic?
Tim Sweeney?
Thank you. Tim Sweeney said something like, you shouldn't have to... So I think he's reached out to IO Interactive, but I don't know how they're going to do that, but they're working on it.
Super Mario 3D World got a trailer this week showing off the new Bowser's Fury.
Yeah, that looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, it does. Resident Evil is having its own direct this week, which will show off some new footage of Resident Evil Village, as well as a few surprises. So you should tune in. There'll be some good stuff going on there.
Operation Raccoon City 2.
It'll never happen, Drew. Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be in the news again as the co-founder releases a personal explanation about what happened and basically threw the testers under the bus, which was not cool.
Yeah, what the hell? I mean, I'm sure the testers were like...
Was that the video or the written statement that he put on
the video?
The video is cringy at that part, and then they also... One of them put out a statement in response to an article about like how much of a mess this is, and the response basically boils down to, "Well, we sold a lot of copies." It's just like,
yeah, I know you sold a lot of copies.
Let PR handle this. Let PR handle this.
All right. The next news story is the absolute definition of what's wrong with the video game industry.
Oh, great.
Not enough special editions with panties in them. I understand, Ken, but that's it.
Bethesda announced that they are making an Indiana Jones game.
Okay.
Nobody even asked about the game.
What do you mean?
What was the news story as soon as that announcement was made?
Is Harrison Ford voicing him?
No. Is this game coming to PlayStation?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a fair question.
It's a fair question, but that should not be the narrative around the fact that Bethesda is making an Indiana Jones game, and that's rad as fuck.
I understand.
And nobody cares because
But-
nobody has an Xbox.
Well, that too. I think the issue is, Ken, that Microsoft and Bethesda have been so, well,
Well, they can't.
They just, I understand that, Ken. I understand that. But to most people, I mean, look, go online, look at the people that are saying this stuff.
No, I don't want to see
Yeah,
those
exactly.
people.
Exactly, Ken. Then you know what I'm about to say. They're probably dumb.
I don't want
Right?
to.
So
I
they're
don't want
not
to see
reading
any
the
of these
point
people.
Of like, hey, like they can't say anything for certain yet because the deal is technically not finished.
God, I'll be
So-
happy when it's finished, so people can just get an answer and shut the fuck up. I
But
don't
it's
care.
I'm excited because it's machine games, and
Yep.
they like killing Nazis. So,
you
I'm
know why
more
I'm
interested-
excited? Because I'm going to get to play it for free.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to figuring out what it is because I don't know if it's gonna be good as first person, if that's what they're doing, or is it third person? Like,
There was a thread on Twitter this week that I'm sure a lot of you probably saw that was what licensed properties would you like to see worked on by what studios?
Yes, I saw that.
And someone mentioned in that a Punisher game by Machine Games, and I thought, oh man, that would be so good.
That Punisher game that was made by... Oh, God, who made that? On the Xbox and PlayStation?
Xbox and PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember who made that, but you're right, it was an excellent game.
Yeah, I really like that game. And I remember that studio is still around, I think, and they still make pretty good games. But yeah, that game-
it's. Do you know who it is?
That's why I just asked.
Volition.
Yeah,
Oh, Volition.
Oh, okay.
yeah. I
That
knew it
makes
was somebody
a lot
that I
Yeah, it
knew.
was-
I just couldn't remember.
That was a game that early on had the death traps where you could interact with the environment to kill enemies versus just killing them yourselves.
Yeah.
That game was cool,
Yep.
man.
A Punisher game made by id Software.
I saw somebody make
Yeah.
your comment, Drew. A
Oh,
TMNT
a
game
T
made by
game.
Rocksteady.
Why would you not do that? You have the name Rocksteady in your name.
Well, it's called licensing. Who even owns it? Who has the rights to the Ninja Turtle games right now? It was Activision for a while, but I don't think it's them still.
Well, it's all Nickelodeon now, so God knows.
Nickelodeon owns it, yeah. Nickelodeon
I
owns
want
the
to
rights to it.
see. I want to see the Spider-Man Insomniac universe expand to include Daredevil.
That'd be cool. Speaking of
Have they
Nickelodeon,
made the Daredevil video game before?
yes.
Isn't it based off?
PlayStation 2?
Oh, God. Ben Affleck.
You know who else would make a good Daredevil game? Is Rocksteady, if they
Yeah.
weren't already working on Drew's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Which
game.
they're not working on.
I know, I'm just kidding.
I kind of got my wish. It's not superheroes, and I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but with the announcement that Ubisoft is doing an open world Star Wars game,
Oh, thanks for ruining my next news story.
Oh, there you go.
No, just
sorry
kidding.
for ruining your
Just
next
kidding.
story. I mean,
That's called a segue.
Sure. It was unintentional. I mean, it's all based on the Lucas Films games.
Lucasfilm Games is what they're calling it now.
Yeah, they'll change it again because I'm pretty sure that was the original name for LucasArts too.
Yeah, and so am I correct that there isn't? So EA doesn't have a monopoly on the license anymore,
That is
right? So
correct.
anybody can make whatever Star Wars game that they want
That
to.
is correct.
I
And
shouldn't
EA
say
is-
anybody, but
EA is
Well-
still making Star Wars games, but now other companies can make Star Wars games.
I think the thing is that like by the time we actually see some, I don't remember who I was listening to, but some by the time we actually see these games
The deal will be
They'll-
over.
up, so
Yeah.
you might as well start working on it now. All right.
Microsoft revealed some new hardware this week. It's a different colored Xbox Series X controller. It's red.
Yay.
Looks cool, but I already have 3, so I don't need any
Yeah.
more.
It's
No,
one of
I
those,
have
like,
I have one and a Xbox One controller that works with it, so we're good.
Dude, I have 6 total Xbox controllers. I have 2 Elites, 1 Xbox One controller, and 3 Series X controllers. I'm good.
Does the 360 controller work on the Series X?
I don't have one. Oh, wait, no, I do. I just don't care.
Yeah, I'm just curious if it actually does work or not.
I have no idea. Imagine you plug it in with a USB cable, maybe?
Yeah.
I'm sure
I just
somebody's tested it.
Just got rid of my 360 controller last week.
How do you feel right now if you're Codemasters? Because Take-Two officially withdrew its bid.
Well, I mean, EA had already basically outbid them, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but the fact that we were getting bought by EA. Nope, now we're getting bought by Take-Two. Now Take-Two doesn't want us. Nobody loves you.
Well, no, what happened was Take-Two had a bid, then EA outbid them. And now they're like, oh, I'll take our money. Like, wait, never mind.
And now
Take the money,
EA's
run.
going to be like,
EA.
EA's going to be like, nah, we're good.
Now EA is going to be like, you're going to make one game for us, then you're going to be forced to work on Need for Speed, and then
Then you're
done.
ruined.
Yeah.
We talked about delays earlier. The first big title to be delayed into 2022 is the action RPG of the Wizarding World, Hogwarts Legacy.
That's right.
So that game will not be available this year.
Which is a shame. My son is really looking forward to that game.
I mean, it looked kind of cool.
I'm sure it'll be good. It's not my jam, but the team working on it's
Yeah,
a good team. So
My son is super deep into Harry Potter right now, so he's
Oh, boy.
really looking forward to it. That was the other game that I played this week, is the Harry Potter Lego collection.
Harry Potter, oh yeah, they did do one of those.
Yeah,
The one they
it's
it
the
was originally they
combination.
were originally on 360s and they upgraded it to Xbox One and included them both on the same disc.
Oh, that's right. They did the collection. I remember that now.
Yeah.
1 to 4, and then 5 to 7.
God, you remember when Traveler's Tales used to put out like 400 Lego games a year, and now we haven't seen one in like 2 years?
Are they still around?
Yeah,
Well,
there's a
they're
new
just
Star
coming
Wars one coming out this year.
The Skywalker saga, which, man, I am interested to see what they do, because the first 2 Lego Star Wars games didn't have voice acting. They're all pantomime, which I personally preferred, but like that'll be interesting to see them do those same scenes with some humor but voice acted. Like, that'll be very odd.
I don't know. I fell off the Lego games so hard.
I still like them. They're dumb fun. I don't know why.
Dimensions was really good.
Dimensions is the best one by far.
But you can't really play it anymore. But
Well, yeah.
it's,
You can't buy it new.
I think I have some bunch of that shit in a box
I
I
somewhere.
do too. I've got a
I'm-
ton. We've got a ton of Lego Dimensions guys
I'm
upstairs.
missing one character.
Of course, I have a box
Which
of
character?
Skylanders somewhere and a box of Amiibo somewhere else. So
Yeah, I've
Arrow.
got all my Skylanders sitting somewhere.
So I have every set, but at conventions they release Green Arrow. He was in a little
Oh.
like plastic bag. I'm never getting him. I have the Supergirl one that you could only get by buying the PS4 version. Like, yeah.
all this
one
plastic
fine
shit that I can't do anything with, and I can't get a replacement guitar or a new set of drums from a rock band. I can't believe somebody hasn't done like a third part. Like, I've even tweeted at the Rock Band Twitter about where I can buy a set of drums or a replacement guitar, because if my guitar dies, that game is useless to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you still want me to buy DLC, make a guitar available that I could purchase.
Have they replied to you?
Yeah, they're like, well, you can't really get them anymore. I'm like, no shit! Make them available. You guys are still selling DLC.
Yeah.
Mad Cats was making them for a while, but I don't know what the fuck happened to them. I know they went like under technically, but then they didn't, and then it's weird.
I just don't understand how you can still sell DLC and not make available the one fucking controller that you need to play said game.
You know why? Because way back when it all exploded, you could trip over them in a store. They had so many bloody things, so they just never made as many.
Yeah, but
I know-
offer it on your website that you will make one, like you will manufacture one if I order it. You know? Like, make it available because every time I tweet at them, I get at least like 10 replies underneath me like, yeah, make this available, you know?
So who was it originally that made the peripherals? It wasn't Harmonix. They
Red
made the
Octane.
software.
Red
Red
Octane.
Octane.
Yeah.
What happened to Red Octane?
Fuck, I don't know. They got swallowed by somebody, I'm sure.
I mean, that was all Activision, so I'm sure Activision bought Red Octane.
Yeah, Activision still owns Guitar Hero because they put out that Guitar Hero Live few years ago.
Yep, I was right. I even called it. I looked it up. Red Octane became wholly owned subsidiary of Activision 2006.
They're probably
In
making
2010.
multiplayer maps for Call of Duty now.
So in 2010, Activision closed the Red Octane division.
So who made the Guitar Hero guitar for the Xbox One and PS4?
Mad Cats, I believe.
What the fuck is Mad Catz doing? Mad Catz, get out there and make some guitars, man. You don't gotta mass produce this shit. You just gotta make it available for people
What's
who
the
want to
newest
buy it.
Guitar Hero for PS4? On tour? No.
Live. I just said
Live.
it. Guitar Hero
Sorry.
Live was on Xbox One and PS4.
No. Bye, Ryan.
He was like, fuck this shit.
He had to get rid of the panty party picture.
Yeah, somebody walked in. What's that?
What are you looking at?
Yep, there it is.
That's funny. Did the panty party kick you out?
Yeah. My computer got so embarrassed from our prior conversation that it just shut itself down.
It's like you're still looking at this panty party picture here.
Oh shit, that's funny.
Yeah.
I don't have any more news.
Okay.
Does anybody else? Did I miss anything? I was trying to.
Not that I'm aware of.
It's still early in the year, so.
Yep.
Yeah, we're still technically in January here.
And we still can't buy these new consoles, so there is that.
No.
Which is crazy.
I mean, I don't think they're going to be readily available until the summer.
Yeah, that's my guess too. I just hope mine doesn't break between now and then. Early adopter tax. You know how that goes. I asked because I don't have any emails and I don't have any tweets because people don't love us anymore. I can read the tweet from last week from Andy, who tweeted at us and said, I'm finally getting to the Game of the Year show, and it was less than 10 minutes in before Drew and Ken pulled the Overwatch is my Game of the Year joke. I felt Anthony's sigh response in my soul. Hey, I played Overwatch this week, and I didn't even talk about it.
Yeah, I did as well. I've kind of fallen off of it.
I play once a week, and I literally do, like, I'm trying to do the Hanzo thing this week, because that's a neat skin, and I'm doing my placements for Season 26.
I saw the Hanzo skin, and I was like, oh, the new map. I was like, oh, it's a free-for-all
deathmatch,
map.
so I didn't care. Yeah, I wanted to see the new map. I was like, oh, it looks cool, and I'm like, oh, but it's for something I don't play, so.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't expect a lot, like, we can't expect a lot of content because they're not going to do anything that's not going into the new game at this point, so.
Yeah, you can forget that.
You know, hopefully the new game will be out this year, and we'll get a bunch of new content. I mean, we'll get a drop of 4 heroes at once. That should be pretty rad.
They said 4 heroes?
Yeah, 4 should be at least 4 at launch.
We know of one of them.
Yeah, the lady soldier. I forget her name.
She's from Canada.
Yeah. I saw what was it? A dude with a sword, or a girl with a sword and 2 turrets.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, that could be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still play. I still love to play, but I'm totally ready for like an.
Have they said the Toronto map is going to be Overwatch 2, or are they going to release that?
No, they're not going to put out anything else. I think they're done with new content for the first game. So we just got to keep playing what is there for the next. While they play with the tweaking, which they broke Sigma. Oh, Sigma is not fun anymore.
Nope.
3-second cooldown on my shield. But fuck that, man. Come on.
Okay, 2.5.
But it says 3 in the menu when you're playing, and it feels. Oh god, it feels like forever.
Yeah, it does.
It feels like when an enemy Zarya bubbles herself. It lasts so much longer than when you bubble yourself.
God.
But there, your Overwatch talk happened at the end of the show, so you could have just turned it off.
Hey, Anthony, take a look at the Toronto map and tell me if it's accurate.
Oh, for God's sakes, Drew, come on.
All right, hold on.
It's not. Tell me.
Is there a large monorail in Toronto?
That is so not Toronto. What the fuck am I looking?
Do they have?
Oh, yeah, okay. I mean, that's not really so you're not looking at a monorail. When you said monorail, it's like absolutely not. No, those are the streetcars. I mean, they're futuristic streetcars, but we have streetcars in Toronto. It's snowy because sure, there's the CN Tower. I mean, sure, it's futuristic. I don't. Oh, they have the Toronto sign there. Yeah, no, it's pretty. I mean, it's capturing the parts that most people would know from like tourism.
Do you guys have a giant statue of a hockey player?
Not
Because
that I know of.
apparently that's in the middle of the map. Is a giant.
Yeah, I feel like that's just in there. No.
Just
Yeah,
to
no.
remind you, you're in Canada.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, unless it's like from somewhere else that they're moving, it's
They got maple syrup
there.
dispensers on the corner.
because it's just a generic hockey player. Usually, when you have a statue, you can see their face.
Who would be the face of Canadian hockey?
Wayne Gretzky.
Is he Canadian or is he American? I don't remember.
Didn't he
No,
play for
he's
the
Canadian.
Detroit
Is he
Red
Canadian?
Wings?
Okay.
Though?
No, he played for the Oilers, and he played for the Edmonton Oilers. He played for the Los Angeles Kings.
Oh.
That was legitimate. I wasn't making a joke. I legitimately didn't know if he was American or Canadian.
No, I knew you were.
No, he's Canadian.
He would probably be it because he's,
I mean, he is the GOAT. Goldfinger
Yeah,
even did a song about him. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah,
I
it's
think other people-
Goldfinger says Wayne Gretzky, the only man I'd have sex with. Wayne Gretzky. That's a Goldfinger song.
Because I mean, he's the only. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of like older players. I'm not a big hockey fan, so, but yeah, he'd probably be the one because I mean,
that's the
there
hockey
at the
player
top.
that I know. Like
exactly. That's the reason why.
That
it'd
is
be
the
him.
only hockey player that I can name.
I know the guy. How do you say his name? Of Chkin.
I know who you're talking about, but I could not pronounce.
Yeah, I can't pronounce his name, but I've seen his name like 1,000 times. I don't watch hockey. I don't watch like basketball. I could name like LeBron. I don't watch basketball. I can't name a baseball player, current baseball player.
No.
I don't know any of
I
them.
can't
No, I
neither.
haven't watched in years, so
All the baseball players I know have been like kicked out of the Hall of Fame because they took steroids. Because that's one of the
That's the only reason why.
than that.
yeah, like
God.
Barry Bonds, Mark McGuire. It's like, oh shit.
The last most active baseball player I can name is Chipper Jones, and I know he hasn't played in probably 8 years.
Dude, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember when he retired. He's in the Hall of Fame now.
Yeah.
I pull out like 80s, mid 80s to early 90s Reds players like Dave Concepcion or something. Like, I don't know. Pete Rose, that's back in the 70s though. Johnny Bench,
Yeah.
Pete Rose.
I'm waiting for.
Pete Rose played into the 80s.
Okay. That's kind of when I was into
I had
baseball.
to be like absolutely never getting into the Hall of Fame. You bet on games, yeah, because that's what ruined the sanctity of the sport.
Yeah, well, Pete Rose should not be in the Hall of Fame for having sex with a 14-year-old, but
I was going to go with the haircut too.
the betting is just kind of a good secondary reason.
The Pete
Yeah.
Rose haircut. Let's not do that.
Yeah,
Pete Rose.
y'all are just missing out by not being huge baseball fans.
I mean, I could use the naps at my,
No, give me a break.
upper age, but
Go watch Traumatic Brain Injury, the sport.
I do. It's very
know.
entertaining. It's better than watching a guy stand there and play with his bat for 20 minutes. I mean, I don't even know what he's doing. I don't have anything else to talk
What
about.
did you say? What did you say, Ken? What
I
was the
don't
last part?
I was to say I don't know what he's doing with his bat. He plays with it for 20 minutes before he goes up there.
It was funny. This was years and years ago. I would say probably about 2003, 2004. I decided I was going to watch hockey. And so I watched the Thrashers back when they were still in Atlanta. And I have no idea what I watched.
I still don't know
their
what
entire
icing
season.
is. I don't know what icing is. What is icing?
Icing?
Yes. What does that mean?
Icing is when the puck beats the offensive team down to the other end of the ice is the easiest way for me to explain it to you. So if
Okay.
you were on one end of the rink and you knocked the puck all the way down to the other end, it would be icing if the offensive player went down there to try to get it.
I get yelled at for that when I play hockey video games all the time, and I'm like, I don't know what I did.
Whoa, wait a minute. So you're telling me that it's illegal to hit the puck as far as you can?
No, it's not illegal. It's just you're going to get called for icing if the offensive player hits it all the way down to the other end, and then the offensive player is the first one to touch it after that.
Isn't it just called being a really good player and skating past everybody?
No.
What the hell?
Just like you can't be offsides either, just like in soccer, where you can't you can't offensive player cherry pick and go down to the other end of the court and just stand there and wait for somebody to pass the puck to him.
I mean, you give yourself alley-oops in basketball.
Yeah, but basketball, hockey, and soccer are not the same sport. And also, nobody really in basketball sits down at the other end of the court and just waits for the ball to come to them.
I mean, they should. That would be like a great strategy.
It's an awesome strategy. It would make it more fun.
Whenever you say basketball, all I hear is
have that one guy down there.
Squeaky shoes is all I think of when I hear the word basketball. Squeaky shoes. I don't have anything else. You got anything else?
I didn't realize there was offsides in hockey.
Yeah, there is offsides in every sport except basketball. Have offsides?
No, basketball doesn't have an offsides.
Okay. I know I sound like a
Basketball-
total nerd trying to figure this out.
Basketball actually punishes kind of the opposite, not exactly the opposite, but basketball, if once the ball crosses the half court line, you can't pass it back over the half court.
Yeah, I know backcourt violation. I know that one.
Yeah.
I feel smart.
Jeez, I didn't even know that one.
You didn't know backcourt?
Dude, if you ask me to tell you basketball or hockey, I'm screwed. Like
Yeah,
I played football and baseball in school.
Yeah, I
So-
know baseball rules, even though I don't watch it. I played it, so I know the baseball rules, and I know every football rule. Football's got some really stupid rules. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
Like when I see a rule that happens in football, and I'm sitting there listening to the explanation, I'm like, that's fucking dumb.
I heard there was a delay of game on the defense, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, if they kick the ball when it's being set, that's a delay
Yeah.
of game. Or if they hold
And
the player down, that's a delay of game.
Yeah, but it was like while they were all on the line of scrimmage, I'm like, delay of game on the defense? What?
Yep. If they touch the ball, that's a delay of game because the ref's got to come back out and reset it. So,
All right.
yeah, there's some dumb rules in sports. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Speaking of sports, that's what I'm going to do this afternoon is cheer for the Cleveland Browns.
No shit. Me too.
Yeah.
I hope they pull it off, man.
Yeah.
They're not going to, but I hope they do.
No. Patrick Mahomes is going to beat them to death, but I hope he doesn't.
Yeah, I hope Nick Chubb runs it right through his mouth.
I hope Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady go home today.
Yep.
That would be my hope. I expect the opposite.
Yeah. If you run through a motherfucker face, ain't got to worry about him no more.
Thanks for joining the show. If you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at N4G Podcast, and you can follow all of us. Drew is at Drew Leachman, Ryan is at Wombat RP, and I am at ZTGD. You can listen to Phoenix Down, Zelda Ocarina of Time, and the 35th anniversary of Zelda.
Yep.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing. And you can send us emails to podcasts at ztgd.com. That is the show for this week. Hey, next week, we can talk about Hitman. If anybody buys it. I know Wombat's buying it. I think I might buy it.
Nah, I'm good.
I'm definitely buying it.
We didn't get a copy, so it's not like we're being facetious and being like, ooh, we played something you didn't play. We don't have the game.
I won't be buying it because all the other games I have are Steam.
I probably shouldn't buy it, but then, like, new game comes out, and it's like, I want to play it. Although Hitman is one of those games I should probably not buy, because, like, it'll be on sale, like, real quick.
Yeah.
It's true.
And I want to buy Mario when it comes out next week. Or the
Take
week
a look
after.
at Immortals, dude. I bought Immortal for $30 a month after it came out.
Yeah, I think Hitman's going to be super cheap, and I won't play it immediately, so maybe I'll wait. But then again, once it launches and I'm sitting there staring at it on my dashboard, I'll probably be like,
Dude, I'm going to be playing Far Cry 5.
What Mario are you talking about?
Mario 3D World's coming to the Switch in February.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Bowser's Fury.
Did you not already buy it on Wii U?
Yeah, but I'll buy it again.
Bowser's Fury.
Bowser's Fury looks incredible, dude.
It looks like Breath of the Wild Mario.
It looks good. I want to, and I don't have a Wii U anymore, so I can't play it.
See, y'all getting rid of your old consoles just always confuses me.
I mean,
Yeah, I still got my Wii U.
I don't have a reason to have the Wii U. I don't have a reason to have
Yeah,
any
you
of
do,
them.
because you could just go upstairs and play Mario 3D World right now.
That'd be really hard because I don't have stairs.
Well, you know what I mean.
Not to mention, I ain't.
Sorry, my Wii U is upstairs. That's why I said go upstairs.
Yeah, I can't have a bunch of. I don't like having a bunch of shit hooked up. Like I've got. I think the Wii U and the Xbox One and the PS4 are the first things I've gotten rid of. My closet is packed with everything from the NES up to the fucking PlayStation 3. And literally,
that's the way it's supposed to be.
but
You've
literally,
kept
there's
every single system but the Wii U.
Yeah, like I was
well,
just thinking,
PS4
like,
and Xbox
this-
One, I don't have either.
Do you have a 3DO?
Yeah, I have two.
Then that's where you fucking start.
I mean, but it's
Get rid of
just
those
wasted
pieces of
space.
shit.
I don't need more wasted. The difference is the Wii U got me $100 in trade. The 3DO will get me laughed at in a game store.
Yeah, you don't sell it on a game store. Sell it online.
I'm not selling anything to anybody right now. It's a waste of time. I ain't
People are stuck
shipping
at home and want to fucking explore Gex and then nothing else because it's a 3DO.
If I wasn't still throwing away 90% of the boxes and styrofoam and replacement fucking shelves and dressers that I replaced over Christmas, I probably would throw a bunch of my old shit away. I don't need it. You can download entire libraries of old console games on like a fucking 5-inch floppy drive. I don't need all that shit taking space. It's just space, man. Space, man.
Ace Man.
Anyway, that's the end of the show. Unless anybody has anything else. Otherwise,
Nope.
we're going to get out of here. Peace, Richard.
Alrighty. And it goes something like this.
Epic fail. Welcome to the N4G podcast. Zero tolerance.
This is going to be a very interesting episode.
Gather time.
Greetings, programs. I got lost trying to find my way to the secret underground N4G Radio lair.
The Wombat. And
I always live being angry.
Killer Wolverine. Play games, not consoles. No fanboys allowed.
And then I killed the dragon. 8.0.
Killed the dragon.